In that meditation, the message that I received was you do not have control over external things, but you do have control over your thoughts, your aim, your intention, your beliefs, who you're choosing to be, and the actions you choose to take. And that is enough. That is your power over your reality. Control. I release control. We know that song. I have that song playing in my head all the time. I release control and surrender to the flow. Control energy is essentially fear. I mean, we don't think about it like that when we're doing it because our society is so big on like type A and push hard and make shit happen and all of that. But when I'm in an energy of control, what I'm actually saying is that I don't trust that it will work out without me making it work out. Amen. I don't trust it's going to go my way. I don't trust that I'm supported. I don't trust in a force bigger than me having my back, having me being fully supported. So control energy is essentially a non-trust energy. Now, anytime that we leave trust energy, we have left the abundance frequency and we have gone into the scarcity, fear, lack frequency. You can see that really clearly, right? Anytime I don't trust in what's happening, I have left the beautiful energy that everything is working in my favor. Everything is always working out for me. Everything is moving in my favor. Everything is here to support me. I've left that energy. And I have now gone into if I don't do something, it's not going to work. Do we see it right away? Like immediately, you're shifting out of the things always work out for me and into the energy that says things don't work out for me unless I make them work out for me. Hence, control energy. Now, control stems from a need for safety. Without getting too deep into the psychology behind it, you feel a need for control when you had to develop a feeling of being in control somewhere in your childhood, maybe even in a past life. It is a need to feel safe in your environment. And control gives us that illusion of safety. It makes us feel like we're in control. I've got me. I'm okay. But what happens is that when that energy becomes so big, you then feel the need to control everything around you. And so then, therefore, you are blocking the flow of receiving more of what you've asked for, receiving things that your mind can't comprehend, receiving support, receiving love, receiving that next level of what you're always asking for. But then you're blocking it by saying you need to control how it happens. Do we see? So, being in that state of being, what you're essentially going to end up doing is creating almost like a prison for yourself. We have a saying in my house that if I have to control everything outside of me in order for me to be happy, I'm the problem. You know what I mean? And I know that that's kind of like very blunt and harsh, but it's the truth. It's like if I need everyone around me to act a certain way for me to be okay, then I'm going to be disappointed a whole lot, right? If I need every driver that's out on the road to drive a certain way, then I'm going to be frustrated a whole lot. If I need every relationship I'm in to go a certain way, if I need it to operate in a certain way, I'm going to be upset a whole lot. Do we see? Because the only thing you actually have control over truly is yourself. And I know we can hear it and we can kind of be in that state of mind where we're like, yeah, I've heard this before, but I want you to really be with that. Because if you really understand this statement, you will unlock everything for yourself. The only thing you have control over is you. I was in meditation not too long ago and I wrote this down, so I'm going to read it to you. In that meditation, the message that I received was you do not have control over external things, but you do have control over your thoughts, your aim, your intention, your beliefs, who you're choosing to be, and the actions you choose to take. And that is enough. That is your power over your reality. Should we read it again? You do not have control over external things. You cannot control what someone does. You cannot control how people drive. You cannot control how someone feels. You can't control how they react. You can't control their decisions. You can't control any of it. And trying to will drive you insane, literally. The only thing you have control over is your thoughts, your aim, your intention, your beliefs, who you're choosing to be, and the actions you then choose to take. And that is enough. It's more than enough to determine your environment. So when we put energy into trying to control things outside of ourselves, I want you to just really think about this. I actually just drew a picture of this in my journal the other day. Your whole snow globe of reality. We've talked about the snow globe before. You guys have been in my world for a while. Those of you who are new to my world, your snow globe is your toroidal field. It is your version of reality, and you are the center of it. Everything you see in your reality is being filtered through your personal perspective and experience of life. You can't get out of that, okay? Your snow globe is you. So your entire reality is being determined by your perspective, your filter. That's not to say that we can go and change, actions that are happening, like the wars that we see on the news or things that we see happening out there. We can't go and make that be different, but we can change the filter in which we see it through. And that changes our reality. We're not going to go too deep into that today. That's very like high level in terms of manifesting and how we create. But what I am going to say in this is your ability to shift your reality lies with you. So when you change even just the tiniest little perspective, it will change how you see your world and it will change your experience of life. So when we're putting more energy into trying to control and change out there, you are just re-emphasizing your perspective, your filter. You're not actually changing anything. Your perspective and your filter is essentially saying, I need to go change that because I want it to be different. But you're not changing what you're feeling here. You're not changing your perspective here. So every action you go and take from that perspective is just reconfirming your reality. It's essentially solidifying it. So if we want to see a different reality, we need to start shifting our perspective internally. The work is always here. It's always here. It's in your thought system, it's in your belief system, it's in your perspective, and then therefore the actions that you're taking. Everything comes back to how you see and view things because that's going to change the way you show up in the world. It's going to change how you do, it's going to change how you be, and it's going to change how you think. So every little shift that we make within ourselves is what is shifting our experience of reality. That's what's changing things. But when we exert all of our energy out there, which is what we've been taught, okay, like our society has taught hustle harder, work more, right? Hence the burnout. Do more out there and then it will change. And we do that. We burn ourselves into the ground and we wonder why we're so exhausted. And then what do? I'm not enough, which is a whole thing in terms of your nervous system. And for anyone who would like to learn more about not enough and how it directly relates to your nervous system, I have a free masterclass that you guys can dive into. It's the precursor to Miracle Matrix. So anybody who wants that, just comment nervous system and I'll send you that free masterclass. But it turns you into thinking there's something wrong with you because you're working so hard from an energy of lack, from an energy of I'm trying to control everything, which is fear-based and in the lack frequency. And then you don't get anywhere because you're in the lack frequency. All you can manifest is more lack, more not enough when you're in that frequency. You got it? Okay, so let's then talk about when is it time then to put in more effort? Because as we know in our 3D world, action's required, right? Like things don't happen without the action behind it. So how do I know when to take action? How do I know when to really go for it? And how do I know when to fall back, surrender, and let God and the universe do its thing? Okay. Click in the comments if you're tracking with me. So you want to follow the energy. Follow the energy. The energy flow, I want you to think about it like a current, a river. Energy is flowing you to the path of least resistance, always. Okay. Now we can help it out by working out our resistances. Okay. We can help it out by doing our healing work because what happens a lot of times you try to control how something comes to manifest. And so then, therefore, you're resistant to the best and easiest way for it to manifest. So the more that we do that healing work, it's like clearing boulders out of the river. There's a current that is trying to carry you to exactly where you want to be in the fastest and easy way possible. Always, always. We just might be fighting it. We might be resisting it. We might have a whole lot of blocks in the river current. When you do the healing work, you're clearing those blocks out, and that's allowing you to flow in a much better way. I have a perfect example for you. This house that we live in today. Many of you heard the story. I received a vision of the floor plan. I sketched it. Within a week, we were walking it. That was manifestation at its finest. Okay. But what you might not know is that before that happened, we were looking for a house forever and nothing was working. It was block after block after block after block. And we were sitting here like, what is happening? So, me being who I am, I said to Robert, my husband, okay, we got a journal. And as you can imagine, most men, when you say we got a journal, they're like, but he is who he is. So we sat down to do it. And what we found was that there were resistances in both of our energies. For him, he was very resistant to renting a house. For me, I was very resistant to buying a house. And then on top of that, I was very resistant to living in suburbia, which is where we live. So this house was here, and I had received that floor plan, but I was blocking. Well, I received the floor plan after we did the journal work. This house was here. It was the perfect, easiest, most beautiful path for us. And there were resistances that the universe was trying to work around because I didn't want to buy, he didn't want to rent, and I didn't want to live in suburbia. Well, we rent in suburbia. This is our house. So it was blocked, 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 blocked because of our energy that we were holding, insisting on how it needed to be. Do we feel it? So the flow was there, but we were resisting it. So when we start to let go of the how, of the blocks, of the resistances, of the like, no, it has to be like this, when you start to do that healing work to let go of that, you allow that flow to happen. When the flow starts happening, this is your go mode, okay? Because you'll feel it. Anytime that you feel you are pushing, like you're trying to force it into place, that is a sure sign that you are not operating in the right energy. Okay. Whenever it's time to like really put in that work, you're gonna feel pulled. You're gonna feel drawn to it. You're gonna feel like, yes, I want to do that. It's not gonna feel sufferable. It's not going to feel like you're trying to force yourself to do it. It's not going to feel like you have to make it happen. It's going to feel like this beautiful co-creation energy with source. It's going to feel like I'm doing my part, God's doing his part. I'm doing me, the universe is arranging things in my favor. It's going to feel like that. And there are certain things that only you can do. You know what I mean? If you're running a business or you're starting a business, God can't make your website for you. You know what I mean? That's your part. You got to make that website. God can't write the content and hit post for you. You got to write the content and hit post. God can give you the message. God can stream through you with that channeled energy. God can bring the people to put it in front of your post. But if you don't create the post and hit publish, then there's nothing for to be placed in front of the people. Do we see? So you have your part And the universe has its part. But when you feel like you're pushing yourself to do it, two things are happening here. One, it's either not the right way, like you're trying to force something to be a certain way that isn't the way, or it is the right action, but you're in the wrong energy, to excuse my voice. Meaning, if I'm still in that scarcity energy, where I'm saying, I have to do this because if I don't do this, I'm afraid this, and this is going to happen. Or I'm trying to do this because I don't feel like I'm enough. So I'm trying to do more so that I'm enough. That's lack energy. And that's going to feel really, really difficult to do anything in. Does this make sense for everyone who's watching? So, whenever you're operating in the lack frequency, things are going to feel really, really difficult. You got to switch the energy. You got to get super clear on what's the story I'm making up about this. You got to bring love to that part of you that's believing in that. And then you got to shift the energy into appreciation and what can I create? What can I give in this energy towards what it is that I want to be experiencing? Because you've got your part and the universe has its part, but if you're doing your part thinking that it's not enough, you're not going to work out anyway, and you're going to have to push harder than everybody else, that's not co creation energy. Do you feel me? That's not supported by the universe. What's supported is you being like, check, check, check. I got me. I've got what I'm supposed to do. I'm following the vision. And then I can just hand it over to this universal energy that will take care of the rest of everything I cannot control. So when we think about it from this perspective, in this example of build your website, create your own posts, your and what you have control over is building the website. Put the stuff, the pictures on there, hit the publish, give it good vibes, create the post, write the words, give it good energy, hit post. Do you have control over who sees it? Nope. Do you have control over how somebody perceives it? Like how they take it in? Nope. Do you have control over how far it circulates? No. You don't have control over those things. But how often do we try to control that? How often do we get caught in that? And then it doesn't perform how we want it to perform, and we blame ourselves and we say it's because it's not good enough. No, do you know why it didn't perform? Because you didn't let it go. You held on to it and you were trying to physically place it in front of people and give them the exact thing that you want them to think and make it happen. You controlled it so much that it didn't go do what it needs to go do. Energetically, of course, is what we're talking about here, but I want you to think about this from a different perspective. If you created a post, and apply this to whatever it makes sense to for you. If you created a post and you hit publish on it, and then you're like checking it and you're like, is it good enough? You're looking for the comments, you're looking for the likes, which is very natural. Okay, we all have done it. But what I'm trying to tell you is if that is the energy you're operating in, one, you probably didn't make it in the right energy. I'm just going to be blunt and say that. But two, you haven't let it fly. You got to let it go. Like, and this is that detachment energy. You got to detach from it entirely and you got to like hand it over. God, you take care of the rest. I got to move on and take care more of my part. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see how we sabotage ourselves in this sense? I've created something and then I'm gripping it tight. I'm checking to see if it was good enough over and over and over and over again. I'm putting all of my energy into the external instead of what? Putting that energy into the next thing that I have control over, which is me, my actions, and my next creation, my next post. You see what I'm saying? Crystal said, I'm guilty of checking on fire posts instead of just letting the magic work. Look, we all love some good validation, okay? Amen and the hallelujahs. We love it. I'm not saying don't look at your posts. I'm saying put your energy and your focus where it belongs. Look at the posts, but let it go. It's going to do what it needs to do. It's going to get in front of who it needs to get in front of. Give it to God. And then put your focus and your energy into the next thing that you have control over. And that might be Don't do anything. That might be go walk in your garden and be done for the day. That might be where you're at. But here's the thing. Wherever you are meant to put more focus and energy, you're going to feel pulled to it. The moment you feel like you're pushing and you're forcing, stop everything. Stop everything. Because you're either doing the wrong thing or you need to switch the energy. So you got to check yourself with that. Why am I doing this? Why am I pushing it? What's the story I'm making up behind it? Am I trusting and believing that I am supported in what I'm doing, or am I trying to force it, control it, and make it happen? You want to check the energy because anything we do in that fear realm, anything we do in the scarcity, anything we do in lack is not going to come to fruition. It's like a black hole. It's like you could do so much in the lack energy and it literally manifests nothing. More lack because lack begets lack. Abundance begets abundance. So we want to shift the energy before we do anything. Okay. So when to let go and surrender and what surrender actually is. So the moment that you're done with your part, let it go. Like literally a consistent practice of letting go. Easier said than done, right? A consistent practice of letting go. And I want you to feel into this. If I do my part and I let go over and 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 over again, what energy is that? Like just feel into it. Did my part, I let it go. I did my part, I let it go. Did my part, I let it go. How much is getting done? First and foremost, with no burnout, with no attachment energy. How much more productive are you? And then, two, if I'm letting go, what is that saying? I trust it's gonna do what it needs to do. Amen, Crystal. Woo! Trust. And trust, write it down. Trust is abundance. Write it down. Trust is abundance. Trust is abundance. Think about it. The moment I am not in trust, where am I? Lack, not enough, fear, scarcity. Trust is abundance. So the moment that I do my part, now let's think about this. Everything in the present moment is creating the next moment, right? Time is an illusion. We're not going to go there, but let's just use time for this example. Everything in the present creates the next moment. What I choose to do right now, what I choose to feel right now, how I choose to perceive it, and the action I choose to take is going to determine that next moment and what happens, right? So, in our example of creating a post, if I create that post with such good energy, like, oh, so good. I am doing my part. I'm fulfilling my mission. I'm doing what God asked me to do. I'm feeling so good about the energy I'm putting into that. And I'm not looking to, this is key, I'm not looking to get anything from it because my part is to do my part, which is give out. Create and give it out. Let it go. Create, give it, let it go. Create, give it, let it go. I'm not looking for like, did I get the validation that I needed? Did I get the sale that I wanted? Did I get the likes that I wanted? Like when you create to get, again, feel it, that's lack energy. I don't have, so I need to create to get. Do you feel it? It's not going to give you the manifestation you want. But when you create in the moment in such good energy, like I'm doing my job, you know what I mean? Like we were just on the spiritual coach training program call, and it's like your job is you and your mission that God has placed in your heart. That's your job. Okay. Everything else can be taken care of, but your job is to show up and do your part. So if I'm doing my job and I'm feeling so good about it, and I'm creating that and I'm sending it out, I am, as I let it go, I'm trusting that energy I created it in. Do you feel like it starts to build that trust muscle with you, with your energy, with God, with life? If I create in good energy, then it's only gonna prosper more good energy. Do we feel it? So it's like, yeah, I can check it. I can look at it to see if people are vibing with it, but it doesn't even matter because I did my part. And you don't know what that's going to end up creating. In a really funny example, I'll tell you this, like I have a podcast that I upload to very sporadically. Okay. It's always been a goal to be more consistent with it, but I've not been terribly consistent with it. That podcast has generated more clients for me than a lot of other things. Like which I get no feedback, no validation in the moment, right? Because you're uploading it, you publish it, that's it. There is no likes. There is no like, are people vibing? You might get a review every now and then, but I cannot tell you how many people have come into my world, hired me as their private coach, or joined a program who found me through my podcast. Do we see? So you don't know what it's going to go out and do. You don't know who it needs to get in front of. You don't know the reaction that it's going to create for them, how it's going to like resonate in their body. You don't know. All you have is you in the moment, that authentic, resonant energy that is you being poured into this moment. And then you let it go because you can't control the rest. Do we feel the freedom in it? Like, do we feel the good energy in that? And then as it's let go, then what are you doing? Let me cool right back here and do the next thing that I know I need to do. The next thing that feels fun and exciting and my job. Like, this is what I'm here to do. You create, you let go. You create, you let go. Okay. Okay, so surrender. This is essentially surrender. Okay. One, you're looking at all of the parts of you that are resistant and also needing things to be a certain way. Because needing things to be a certain way, that control energy, is the opposite of surrender, but it is also blocking you. So when you say surrender, it's like what we talked about before. I let go of my way to make way for God's way. I let go of my way to make way for God's way. It's saying the moment that you have a God-driven desire, there's a pathway to it, like immediately. The moment you have that God soul desire, there's a pathway to it. But you might get really, really attached to which pathway you think you need to go on to have it. And that's that blocking, that's that resistances. So surrender is I let go of thinking I know how it needs to be. Do you feel me? That's surrender. Surrender isn't stop taking action. Surrender is not give up. Surrender is I let go of needing it to be a certain way. I move in alignment with the energy flow. I move with where the momentum is taking me. I trust in the source that's guiding me. And I let go of my stubbornness. Easier said than done, isn't it? But when we do this, we are in fact moving with the energy that creates worlds, you know? Like it's this dance. You start to be able to create things beyond what the mind can comprehend. When we take everything on ourselves, on our shoulders, and we're trying to control things, we're operating based on what our mind can comprehend. And your mind can only comprehend what has happened in the past. So you're trying to create something new based on what you know from the past. And you can see how that would stifle you, right? See how that would stop you from creating something that was actually in the realm of what it is that you want to be experiencing. So we have to kind of surrender the mind. We have to stop trying to figure it out and we have to be available to receive that aligned action. You received the vision of what you want to create. You've received the pull of where it is that you want to go. Continue that way. Receive the next move and then receive the next move and then receive the next move. And it's going to feel like it has momentum. It's going to feel like it has energy. You're not going to feel like you're pushing against a current. If you feel like you're pushing against a current, you're going the wrong way. Okay. We need to let go, surrender, and see where the energy is guiding you. So now, as we mentioned in the beginning, The feeling the need to control is a need for safety. Something has occurred in your life, this life or past life, that made you feel unsafe and kind of sent you into more of that survival energy mindset where you feel like if you can control everything around you, then you'll be safe. Needless to say, there is a healing that needs to happen there. Amen. There's a healing of finding that trust in yourself and finding that trust in the energy around you in a higher power. I always recommend work with that relationship because as you start to do that, you're going to stop needing things around you to stay in line, so to speak. Because the moment that something or someone steps out of what you deem as okay, it sends you into a spiral, right? It triggers you. It starts to make you feel unstable. So, our goal is to create that safety and that stability in the self. And once you have that strong grounding in the self, you don't need people to be a certain way. You don't need circumstance to be a certain way. You don't need things outside of you to be a certain way for you to be good. And the beautiful part about all of this is that the more that you build that strength and that stability within you, everything around you starts moving in alignment with you because you become the stronger energy. Does that make sense? So when all of your focus and your energy is going to things outside of you, the energy in here is weak. It's not stable. But the more that you put into that strength and stabilization within the self, you become the stronger energy. Things start bending and moving according to you. So the more we work on ourselves, the more that we heal all these things that are in the way, and we build that strength and stability within us, life starts naturally becoming more amenable to what it is that we are, who we are being, where it is that we are going, because you become the stronger energy in the room. Does that make sense? So, healing to begin trusting yourself and trusting life is absolutely paramount because otherwise you're just going to feel like a feather in the wind. Like you're pushed this way because that happened, or you're pushed this way because this happened. You're pushed over here because so and so said something not nice to you, or you're pushed over there because somebody had a big emotion. Healing and building that strength and that trust within you, and then therefore life, is absolutely paramount for you to begin to create the life that you want to be experiencing and living. And then you have to build what I call the abundance coffers. It's like I see it like a value pipeline. You got to fill up that abundance pipeline, and you don't need anything outside of you to do this. It is coming into appreciation for what is. And it's going to sound morbid, but it will help you get perspective. I want you to imagine that tomorrow, everything that you have not shown gratitude for is going to be taken away. It's not, you're fine. But I want you to imagine this. Everything that you have not shown, felt, even spoken, active gratitude for in your life, tomorrow it's going to be gone. Does that change your perspective a little bit on how much there is to be grateful for? You feel me? Like we get really, really caught up all the time in what has not happened yet. And the moment that we put our energy and our focus into what is not, we are in the lack frequency. But the second you realize how much there is here and now, how much you can give appreciation and gratitude for right here, right now, you start filling up those abundance coffers. You start being like in that realization of just how good you got it. Even if things are kind of messy right now, there's still so much to be grateful for. So play with this just to check yourself. Like, everything that you don't feel and show gratitude for today is going to be gone tomorrow. You feel that sudden, like, oh my God, oh wait, hang on a second. I'm grateful for this person. I'm grateful for that. Oh my God, I'm grateful for my bed. I'm grateful for my computer. I'm grateful for my phone. I'm grateful for my crystals. I'm grateful for clean water. I'm grateful for my clothes, my skin, my health, my hair. Oh my God, my favorite. Oh my God, I love that thing. I'm so grateful for that. Do you see? Switch it up, get yourself in the right perspective, fill those abundance coffers. And once those abundance coffers are filled, then you can hit that point of overflow. Hello, thank you so much. We can hit that point of overflow because you have put yourself in the right energy, and now you have something to flow out into the world. And that starts to fill that value pipeline because now you're going to show up to give. You're not going to show up to take. And I know, like, it's a fine line, but it is an energy switch that makes all the difference in the world. If I create a post to give, that's a totally different energy than I create a post because I want to get. Totally different world, right? So fill your abundance coffers so that you can fill that value pipeline into from your overflow. And as you do that and you continue in that, you're going to fill your entire snow globe up with that energy. And you're just going to be always receiving because you're always, oh my gosh, our electricity went out. Always receiving because you're always giving. So that moves you out of the lack frequency and into the abundance frequency. For those of you who want to do this work with me, this is everything that the Miracle Matrix experience is on. It is about healing that lack frequency, that lack mentality, and moving you into the abundance creation, joy-filled energy with the source. So that is our next immersion program that's coming in August. So if you are interested in joining that program, you can message me directly for details on it. It is healing the lack and scarcity energy at the nervous system and energetic and rewiring the mind level. Okay, I'm gonna wrap. My voice is leaving me anyway. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Have a beautiful rest of your day.